Right, today I want to show you how to make this card. It's a double triangle fold card. And as you can see, it opens up and you've got the greeting in the middle. Now I really like this card, but you really do need to make this card in sets of 2. Because of the way the card works, that way you don't end up with any waste. So for these 2 cards that I've done here, I've used Craft Sensation papers, and if you can see, it's a really nice pad actually, this. I really quite like it. Each pad, I'll do a quick flick through the pad so you can see. But each paper is either foiled or not foiled, but it's the same pattern all the way through. I'll show you in a minute. The stamp, that's a Dovecraft stamp, which I think is quite sweet. And the big sentiment stamp in the middle is also Dovecraft. This backing paper was from the DoCraft Capsule Elements Pigment pack. So that's that one. And then this card I've done the same. So this is again the Craft Sensation paper, again a Dovecraft stamp in the middle and a Dovecraft stamp in the middle, and this is the Capsule Pigments again. I'm just going to give you a quick flick through the papers so you can see the ones that I use. So this is the pad, it's called Seashores, and I'll just quickly flick through, hopefully you can see. So you've got your foiled pad, your foiled design, and then the next one is the same design but it's not foiled, and it's like that all the way through. So you've got foiled, not foiled, foiled, not foiled, foiled, all the way through. But it is quite nice. Some of the patterns I think are a bit big for cards, but like with the fishes you could maybe fussy cut them out. That's quite a nice paper. As you can see, I've used that one, etc. So anyway, so that's the papers I've used. Now I'm not going to be using those papers for the card we're doing today. We're going to do a men's card. My husband had asked me to make a card for a friend of his, a colleague who's leaving. So we're going to do a leaving card for him. So I've chosen, what you'll need is 1 piece of 12 by 12 cardstock, and then 2 more pieces of 6 by 6. You're going to make them smaller, but for now they need to be 6 by 6. So we're going to start by, if we start by cutting these down, so they need to be, I reckon, well I used 5 3/4 by 5 3/4 on the previous cards, but I think it came up with a border that was a little bit too small. So for these I'm going to go for 5 1/2. Hopefully that'll work. I'm not entirely sure, but we'll give it a whirl. Now 5 1/2 on this trimmer is a bit tricky, but I think I can see it. So need to cut these down to 5 1/2. 5 1/2 by 5 1/2. This is the only bit of wastage that you have, is trimming your paper down, because the rest, I mean you can use those for scrapped cards later, so it's not really wastage. So you've now got 2 bits of paper that are 5 1/2 inches by 5 1/2 inches. Okay, I'm going to put those to one side for now. Now you want to start with your big sheet, your 12 by 12. What you want to do with your 12 by 12 is you want to fold the whole thing in half, like that. Okay, and then you want to fold the whole thing in half again, the other way. So you end up with quarters, like that. Now what you want to do is take a metal rule and a Stanley knife or a craft knife of some description, and you want to cut from one corner all the way across to the other corner. Now because it's obviously bigger than, unless you've got a big ruler, you're going to have to do one section and then do the other section, but that's fine because you've got a halfway point. It makes it a lot easier, so you should then get it right. So now I know my ruler's upside down. The reason I do that is because otherwise I struggle with it. So there we go. So you end up with that. Okay, so you've now got 2 pieces of card. Now, if you turn, obviously this corner here, just put them back there as well. This one here just needs to turn like that, so that you've got this and this, okay? And this one the same. Now, you can, if you want, have it opening up that way. If you want to, I've seen somebody online who likes it that way around. I personally prefer it to go that way because that's how a card would normally fold, and that's just like your extra bit. But that, for me, that's a bit weird because that's the wrong way around, but it's up to you, whatever you want to do. Anyway, so that's that done. So there's your 2 card blanks. So this is why you make 2 cards at a time, because out of one sheet you can get 2 cards, and as well with your 2 sheets you've got here, again you're going to get 2 cards. Now I would advise with the backing papers, I didn't for the other one, but I would advise that you choose patterns that can be any way up. So these can be, you know, they can be any way up, it doesn't matter, they've got no right way up, wrong way up, whatever. Now these just need, both of them, just need cutting in half diagonally. Now I'm going to be daring and cut them both at the same time, just for speed. There we go. So you now end up with 2 triangles of that and 2 triangles of that. Those 2 triangles you can put to one side. Now it's up to you. I've done contrasting. Obviously it's up to you. I've done contrasting papers. So I'm going to have one there and one there. Because I quite like all the other way around, whatever. And the same on the other one. Or if you wanted to, you could do all the same. But I just think that's a bit boring. So I'm going to do opposites. So the 2 that you're not using, put to one side for now. Along with the card blank that you're not using. And then we're going to get sticking with these. Right, now, let's get these on here. That way or that way. I think I prefer this way. Right, so I'm going to stick these down. It really is a very simple card. You can also do this card using an A4 sheet. Exactly the same, so exactly the same thing. You fold it in half and in half again, so you've got quarters, and then you cut the whole thing diagonally from corner to corner. Very easy. And that way you have like a rectangular triangle fold. Yeah, so 5.5 inches by 5.5 inches is definitely the best for these panels, these square panels, because in half that gives me a really nice border. Whereas if you see on this one, my border is very tiny. Almost non-existent. So for me that's too thin. I prefer a thicker border, and that to me is perfect. So let's stick this one on. Now the papers that I've got here are from Mr. Smith's workshop, Do Craft papers. I just quite like the textures that you get with them. That's why I'm using that. And for a mail card, it's perfect. So there we go. So that's one card. Now for the inside, I'm going to choose, now I should have done this before I go on camera, but I forgot about this part. I'm going to quickly choose a sort of a paler piece to go in, that you can obviously write on, but that goes with everything else. I need one for the other one as well, and that will also need cutting down, which I quite like that one. Let's put it on my front piece. Yeah, I quite like that, that goes quite nicely, as does that. I think those are the ones. Let's have a quick flick, make sure there's nothing else that we like. The wood's quite nice. Might prefer the wood more than, I think I prefer the wood more than that one. Brick wall's quite cool. I think we will go for those 2. Quite like that one as well, it's quite nice. That one's, no, we won't, we'll stay with that. Right, we'll go with those 2. Okay, right, so these need cutting down to 5 3/4, I think. We need to go 5 3/4 because 5.5 for just a normal square is going to be too much. It's going to be too much of a difference. we're going to go 5 3/4. I hope you can still see. 5 3/4 there. Turn it round. 5 3/4 there. Like that. Yeah, that's good. Put it inside, that's fine by me. Right, so I'm going to put the wood one in this one. That way round. So we just need to stick that down. Now I normally use double-sided tape. Well, I say normally. Depends where I am. If I'm at home I use Yoo-Hoo just because I find it quicker. But if I'm demonstrating I tend to use double-sided tape. In which case I would go round all 4 sides with the tape and then just peel back the corners and then you can position your sheet and get it straight. Obviously with Yoo-Hoo you've got a bit of time to wiggle around. So that's that. Then all we need is toppers. Now for this one, because this is my husband, he wanted one that said it's been good working with you, so that's what I've got there. So I've just literally used the first edition Wild at Heart papers. I've cut out a cog using the Spellbinders cog die. I've then printed this off, I actually did this myself, designed it myself on Serif Draw Plus on the computer, and then just, because I knew roughly what size I needed it, and then I've just cut it out with a round die, nesting die, and so that's my topper. And then all I'm going to do is use some foam pads. Some foam pads. I'm actually going to use, see, these are the Dcraft X-Cut sticky ones, and you've got the nice dots, but all this excess, I use all that, because, you know, you may as well. So, let's just cut up there, and cut it into 3, 1, 2, 3, right, and then we just need to eyeball, make sure that's nice and straight, eyeball where it needs to go, so we need one kind of here, because obviously you don't want to stick it to, if you're going to stick it to this flap, stick it to that flap, don't end up with it stuck both sides, otherwise you're going to be in a bit of trouble, you won't be able to open your card. So that's one there, and we want one here, and then we want one, my phone keeps going off, sorry about that, we want one over this corner, about there. Right, peel these bits off, mustn't waste anything, peel these off like that, that's there, that goes on like that. So that's your card. I'm going to leave it blank inside because obviously he wants to write his little message. So that's that. And that's probably all I'm going to put on that one because, I mean I would normally put like a gem or something or something on there, but because it's from my husband's colleague, he's a bit funny about these sorts of things, so I'm going to leave it like that, and then that's kind of, that does the job for him. So that's the first card. Now the second card, we're going to go for birthday card. So I'm going to do, I think I'm going to do the same way around again, like that. I don't like the other way, I don't think it goes properly. Let's have a look. No, it doesn't, to me it doesn't look right. Don't know why. So I'm going to stick that down. What I like about these cards is obviously you're not wasting anything, but also they're so quick to make. You make 2 cards in like no time at all. They look quite cool because it's a different sort of fold to what most people are used to, and it really hasn't taken you very long. I think this is going to be quite a good card to do for Christmas cards because I can see myself whacking these out, and they're nice and flat for posting, so you haven't got to worry about them being too big. Obviously you've got a bit of a foam pad bulk there where you've stuck the topper on, but you don't have to use the foam pad. You could use just stick it flat to the, you know, I mean if you had like an embossed topper, or a topper with a bit of interest in it some other way, maybe heat embossed or maybe normal embossed or foiled or whatever, you wouldn't necessarily need the depth because you've got the depth in the texture instead. So there's that, like that. This is going to go inside. Now this one I am going to stamp. says, and I should have got the stamps ready, but I didn't. So let me just find it. I'm going to use the large sentiment stamp, because I do like those. Now, when I stamp, I always use a cork board, because it gives you a little bit more, like, a little bit of give, but not too much give. I've heard about people using the underside of a mouse mat, which I believe works, but yeah, I prefer a cork mat, just a placemat is fine. I love these large sentiment stamps, they're so handy, you wouldn't believe. They're sort of a bit sticky, but that's fine. And then let's just get the get it all linked up. Move it out of the way for a second. I like to not have anything underneath, just in case there's any bumps and ridges. Right. Like that. Give it a good press down. There we go, it's not too bad. I always clean my stamp straight away. Just make sure the ink doesn't stay. Just use a normal wet wipe. That usually works. I find the cheap wet wipes, these are Asda Smart Price ones, are better than your more expensive ones, because the other ones tend to leave little fibres behind on your stamp, whereas the not quite so fibrous ones don't, clearly because they're not fibrous. So that's my greeting done. And obviously things like that, if you imagine that heat embossed, oh, it's just beautiful. Really beautiful these are. There's a whole load of them. There's like a with love, and there's a thank you, birthday boy, birthday girl, someone special. There's quite a lot of different ones you can get. I just love the size of them, because like for the middle of that there, it's perfect for 6x6 card caps, and even like as a topper, it's just perfect. Really nice stamps. I'm hoping they're going to do some for Christmas. I'm sure they will. Right. So let's stick that in. Turn that over. Put some glue on. There we go. Right, now let's shut that up. Now for this one, I've decided to use the same cog die, and I've cut out a cog, again out of the Wild at Heart papers, but this time because I didn't really have a stamp that sort of fitted, so what I've used, and I'm not that keen on it, but it'll do, I've used the Do Crafts chipboard letters. They brought them out a while ago now, and you had, these are the wood ones that came with the capsule wood effect. I don't know what, I can't remember what it's called, but anyway, because they're quite cool, so that's what I've used for the birthday. And then these are the metallics ones, which are quite funky. So I just thought, because they were going to be so close together, you can see the happy and you can see the birthday, it's not just a big kerfuddle of letters. So that's what I've used for those. So again, I'm just going to stick this on using some foam pads again. These little bits can actually be really helpful. Like if you've got a, I don't know, like a die cut and you've got a bit of a corner in it, or like a crossroady T bit in it, and you don't really want, it's not really the right shape. These fit really nicely into them, so I quite like using the round bits, the bits around the edges. Right, I need to get that sort of straight, which is sort of there. Now, okay. Because this isn't quite as straightforward as the other one, I'm going to hold it in place. The other one I had a very definite way up, but this one I haven't, so. Now for this one, I'm going to put a little bit of bling on it, because I think it needs it. Right, I'm going to use the Simply Creative adhesive gems because they're about the right size. And I'm going to keep it nice and simple. And I'm just going to do going down there. And 3 in the bottom. There you go. And that's my card done. See? Very easy. Very easy indeed. Now obviously apart from the pre-cutting of the die cuts that I did, everything else I did on screen. So that shows you how quickly it takes to make. I'll probably put a gold cog in the middle there, a little mini one maybe, just to fill that centre. But anyway, that's how you do it. Very simple. Very easy. Hope you'll have a go.